Hi, Daddy. What you doing?
You doing the regatta shuffle right now? Oh, let's go.
Yo, it's Dyson Knight, and this is episode 74 of the Sup'm Show. Black love is the topic. Speaking about black love, here's a brother that I love, my best friend from grade 1. What up, Dr. Kent Bizard?
Geez, grade 1.
Grade 1, baby.
Dang.
Grade 1. And we was black from then.
What is going on, Bahamas? What is going on, Sup'm Show fans? Nice to be here again.
More lovely blackness to add to the show. Hans, what's going on?
You gotta have the queens.
Hey, you guys.
Absolutely, absolutely. So listen, what is special about black people and black culture? It's question number 1. What is special about it? Why should people love this blackness? Question number 2, and rhetorically, I'll ask, why should I love myself being black?
Boy.
Big questions. Who loves blackness already? Who loves blackness already? And how does blackness prefer to be loved? We going in deep for this Black Love Show. Yep.
It's only an hour long, you know.
Hey, and it ain't long enough because guess what? What up, Juan? Well, I need to give you your own space. Hold on. You know I'll be doing.
Right there for a second. Hold it. Okay, now we can go.
Bingo. All right. So now that that's all. Okay. No, but what's special? Man. What's special about blackness? Like on a real note, like
what is special, my brother?
What's so special about blackness?
Hello.
Well, to be honest, he's right. Black is beautiful, and I mean, I don't even think it's
gorgeous.
I don't even think it's being biased. I don't think it's being biased. I think the most beautiful faces and persons on the earth are black. I think so. You know,
and is that an opinion? Because I mean, if you look at,
it has to be an opinion. It has to be an opinion.
I want to take it be.
I believe it's strong.
Yeah, but I want to challenge that it's more than just an opinion, right? And we look at today's culture in today's world, and what the majority of people are trying to
be is black.
Yeah.
Look black.
I mean, would you say that there's a lot of more people are trying to look black than people are trying to look any other ethnicity or race?
Yeah,
well, I would say no. I disagree with that.
Why?
I wouldn't say they're trying to physically look black. I would say they're trying to adopt the black culture. That's what I feel. I don't think they're physically trying to look black. Hello, it's impossible to be this gorgeous. Everybody can't imitate this.
Yeah, but people try to. People definitely try to.
And you know what answer they try to? They fail.
But still, they try. That's the point.
It's only one generation.
But check this out. You know something? To bring this into something that we all familiar with. When I was a kid, I thought He-Man was black.
Who?
He-Man.
He-Man.
You ever looked at the cartoon?
I don't know.
Never thought he was black.
I thought he was black because he was darker than everybody else. You notice that on the show?
Yeah. He was darker than everybody else.
Except when they actually had a black actor on the show, he was the darkest person.
Hair texture though, his hair texture was a little.
Yeah, he had blonde hair, but he was always his skin was dark. Me and him are the same color.
Now you know. Like you see who you could mistaken for black. Thundercats, Pantro, all day.
Okay, let's define black culture. Let's what is black culture? Because we say they may not try to look like black people, but they do try to imitate the black culture, which is another form of showing that it is desirable to be a part of this blackness. So
I think there's a thin line there, though, because there are some people of other races who, in their attempt to be black, they turn ghetto.
Bingo.
So I can't say that's them trying to be black because
But
even as a black individual,
but
I'm not the
that is because
stereotypical ghetto black.
So black culture is
that
ghetto.
is because that's the most popular culture they're familiar with. That's all that
So
they know because that's all they see.
what do you mean by that?
Like when I went to Russia, for example, these some of these kids, this was the first time they ever laid eyes on a black person in person.
Right.
But I'm saying what they see, the way they saw us and the way they reacted to us because of the way we looked. A lot of the kids, wearing our Nikes and all that stuff.
Hmm.
They thought that we were what they saw on TV, and so when
Right.
they came to us, they would try to emulate just to be friends what they
Right.
saw on TV,
Right.
what they heard in music, and to them that's black culture. So that's all they know. So that's all they
So
can emulate.
I can understand a foreigner, like you say in Russia, whose only glimpse of blackness is on TV. But in America, where you have many different cultures, many different races, I've had white I had a white girl once approach me at work, and to me she was the stereotypical ghetto girl. And because I was black, she immediately came to me
What's
and
your
she
definition of
started
ghetto girl?
speaking to me in a dialect that I didn't even recognize.
What's your definition of ghetto girl? Clarify
You
that.
know, you
No, I
know.
want you to clarify.
You can look it up after the show. I'm
No,
not
no,
gonna
no,
be
no,
your
no, no,
Let
bearer.
let me try.
listen. Go ahead. No, it's not because I'm
No,
trying to
no.
be difficult here, but
But you,
I just want you to clarify it for the people that may not know
There,
where you
w-
come from.
there were
let
lack
me
of
do it.
proper pronunciation. There was a
Let me
lot of
do it.
slang. Okay, go for it, Dyson.
And I felt that it was quite expected for one to bring up the cultural aspect of it, because I believe the strongest point, or the strongest marketed view of blackness is in music.
Right, I
Is
agree.
the music culture,
Yeah.
right? And there's a big thing right now with hip hop music, with people trying to re there's Drake, and then there's Common, right?
Mm-hmm.
There's just as well as there was, and it's always been just as well as there's Tupac, and there's Biggie Smalls. For those of you just waking up this morning, Biggie Smalls is more of a party rap artist, and Tupac really loved getting very conscious with his messages, right? But he was party rap too, but you would get more substance. Well, that's arguable, but you get more substance. So music culture, sports culture, some of the highest earning sports have a tendency to not be dominated by blacks, but the big superstars of the let's just look at football and basketball, right? With football, the superstar is going to be the quarterback, and the quarterback is generally, most likely, a not black person.
Right.
However, the black people that are quarterbacks are killing it. But the culture of the NFL depicts that certain people are going to be the leader. So in viewership, you would find that, you know, it could be by design, it could not be. I don't know, right?
Mm-hmm.
In basketball, you look at the greatest basketball players, right? And you call off those names, and I think the the only non-black person that comes to my mind when it comes to saying the GOAT is probably Larry Bird.
Who's that?
Larry Bird.
Is a bird named Larry.
I mean, he played basketball.
Yes, yes, young grasshopper.
It's a
yes,
bird named
yes,
Larry, and don't worry about it.
That's a good
yeah,
point, though.
yes, young grasshopper. But then after that, you look at the Michael Jordans, then you look at the Kobe Bryants, then you look at the Allen Iversons and all these other players, Shaquille O'Neal, and you just list them off, and you go on and on and on, and then you'll find like certain. So that's music, that's
Sports.
sports, and now let's look at movies, which was what you and the doc was just talking about people only having an idea or an ideal of blackness through movies and
And that's not
television.
always a good example.
Same thing with music though,
I
because
agree.
it's about what you put
Right.
out there
Yeah.
and what is being supported. So the question is now, well, my question is, what is black culture? Is black culture what we view on television? Is black culture, especially right now, is black culture what we see in the sports and in the music world? Is that truly black culture?
Unfortunately, see, Dyson, here's the catch, and it would be nice to be able to say that black culture is some mystical, magical, historical thing from Africa. That's not what it is today. Maybe some years ago that's what it was, but that's not what it is today. Today, and not even when I say today, I'm talking about 50 years in the last 50 years. Because black culture, like like pop culture itself, has really become about, like you mentioned, the stars in music, acting, and sports. And those persons kind of direct what how we talk, how we act, what we wear, and what we do fairly.
Mm-hmm.
And when you put all of that together, that's essentially, I would want to say, African American culture, but that's black culture, essentially. African American culture, for the most part, which
Mhm.
most of the world recognizes as black culture.
Correct.
African American culture.
Ah,
You see what I'm
good,
saying?
good, great point.
So I think that is the way we have to look at it. We could say, oh, Desmond Tutu and blah blah. These kids don't know who Desmond Tutu is. So forget about that. That's out. Black culture is LeBron James, like you said. You know what I'm saying? It's the new Nikes. It's Drake and whatever the gal name is, Red, whatever her name is, and the rest of them.
Yeah.
Black.
Don't even say it. Don't
That's
Yeah,
even
black.
say it.
she ain't deserve that much credit. Don't even say it. Red,
Please.
whatever her name is, leave it
But
there.
that's the same person who the girl listening to who went and talked to ants. That's the same person. That's why she talks to you like that, because that's who she listening to. And she said,
Mm.
"Oh, that's how black girls act, and that's how they speak. This is their culture."
But here's what I found very interesting about that. My supervisor at the time, he was in the vicinity when she approached me. And when she started talking, I turned to her and I said, "What?" So the supervisor, who was a white male, he said, "Ants is probably whiter than you." Now, to him, he felt like that was a compliment.
It's not.
But to me, it was not. But I
It's not.
think what he was trying to say was, she does not speak or carry herself in the way that you think. That's what I
Yeah,
think he meant to
yeah,
say.
yeah,
And
But
yeah.
just to throw another question out there or another side of this point, Dyson,
Mm-hmm.
what is perceived as white culture is exactly what Ans is talking about: dressing
Mm-hmm.
properly, speaking properly, not never been to jail, stuff like that is white culture. It's white
right?
culture. You understand what I'm saying? That's white culture. Not being in jail, being able to speak proper English, not being in debt, not being on child support, and stuff like that. That's white culture.
But,
So
So when you act
but
like that,
go ahead.
what's the word?
An
You're
anomaly.
appropriating or whatever white culture. When you act like that, they as a black person, they say you're not black because you speak properly, because you don't dress like an idiot, because you don't follow all the trends and go all the silly places and do all the silly things.
Yep.
You're appropriating white culture. You're not one of us. I was told that a lot.
wow,
I've
You see what
come
I'm
wow.
saying?
across
You
people who have felt like, and I mean like maybe sheltered white people who have come across me, and in that interaction, this one girl said, I didn't expect you to be like this." And I'm like, okay, but she went on to say she had never really had true interactions with black people, period. I mean, and we had a very open and honest conversation.
can
But
we?
She was shocked.
Can we put a pin right there and expand on that a whole lot? Because we say this is what people expect. This is their expectation. This is the world's expectation of us. And what about that expectation, as far off as it is, and we getting into the conversation about black love, what is there to love about that?
Shouldn't we at some point though, um, kind of be ashamed that other races view us in that light?
Absolutely.
That's the same question
Like,
you asked.
like,
That's
like,
the
like,
same
like,
question.
why is it a stereotype or a stigma attached to people of color that automatically other people will assume that your credit ain't good? Okay, you got a couple baby daddies, a couple baby mamas. You know what I mean? You ain't got no job. You're hanging out all day in the hood. Your pants down to your ankle. Like what? I feel we should be ashamed of that, man. Not
Yes,
not not glorify it and act as if this is cool because that's not cool at all. No matter which way you cut it.
but here's the thing. I feel like a lot of that stemmed
Mhm.
from the slavery in this country.
Mm,
And I feel like even when they made movies way back when, they would do blackface and portray black people as something that they were completely not, right? So now moving forward, when things supposed to have changed, when they make new movies, they only give black actors certain roles. So then that's it
Right.
people see. And then
Facts.
even when they get these artists, they pay for the artist to be a certain way.
Yeah.
right.
Like, I don't even want to say the girl name, but she's got a missing tooth and one of them in jail. And I'm not even going to say the name, but I despise seeing people like that on my on my feed. I hate it because this girl is literally popular and people are feeding into everything and she's getting contracts and deals because she acts that way, which I feel like Caucasian America, not saying that all of them, but that is what they want. I feel like they want to support that because they want the world and the masses to think that that is who black people are, that is their culture, and that's it in a nutshell.
So
On top
what?
of all of that, I feel as black people, we sell out way too easy too for peanuts. That's 100% fact. We're one of the quickest people to throw our own people under the bus and
But
not support our own.
you have to look at why though.
Yeah, I understand,
You know, I
but
feel like it's still deeply rooted in what they gave black people back in the day. It just wasn't the same. So what when black people more black people were probably in poverty. So they
mhm,
had to try okay, just a scenario today. Me and my dad were on a drive. And on the drive, we were in what you would call a nicer side of town. But this was like farmland and people had different farms and acres and whatever. So at the edge of the road, we saw a cooler. There was a label that says fresh farmed eggs. They go by the honest system. You take a carton of eggs, you put $5 in the bucket. Nobody is out there. So Daddy said, if this were in the hood, somebody would already took the eggs, the money in it, the cooler, the whole thing. But I'm like,
understand,
Daddy, I
understand.
said, but Daddy, you have to understand. If it were in the hood, these people are living off of survival. They would have felt the need to take the cooler, the eggs, the money in it. In the area we are, these people don't need the $5. They don't need the cooler. They're not hurting for anything. So I
Right.
think it literally all stems from the root from where the
But
beginning came from.
I, uh, but you know what? And me and Dr. Kent Bazard, we always talk about this all the time in our little one-on-ones, and that's why he can cock his head to the side the same time I do it. You see our head to the same side right now, or that way or whatever. It's for a reason. I strongly believe, like, it's up to you as the individual to get out of that mindset. You
No, I
can't keep
agree.
you
I
can't keep
agree.
going back on what our ancestors been through and what slavery did to us and all that. Like at what point? Do you look to the successful people of color and say, listen, I want to imitate that versus this over here,
But
right?
I agree.
Right,
I
Brian.
agree
Let
with
me
you.
ask the
But that's
question.
not what they
On
push. That I
on
mean,
on that note, who is the black person that is receiving, let's call it black love right now, internationally? Can we identify some of these people,
An
or
individual,
identify at least one individual, or even a facet of our culture, right?
non-celebrity.
Doesn't matter. Like we celebrate people in hindsight, like after they died. Martin Luther King, Malcolm
Okay.
X. We celebrate these people, but who right now? Like, we would look at people might say Barack Obama. I don't know, Michelle Obama. I don't know. Maybe it's Kevin Hart. I don't know
Dyson, I'm
who.
gonna go out on a limb here. I'm gonna say not because not because the entire world even knows what I'm about to mention is, but you've experienced this. And since we use the word culture, I'm gonna say Junkanoo.
mm,
Wherever, wherever in the world, somebody started to play a Junkanoo drum, everything went crazy. Persons were amazed and they loved it, and they loved the persons giving them the music.
Mhm.
Mhm.
Simple. I've never heard of anything else occurring anywhere at any time in the world.
Let's hit on
So
that. Mhm.
I wish that was the culture that we could. That was my initial point. I wish that was the type of culture we could be talking about. But that's not what we talk. That's not what we're talking about. We can't talk about that because we don't push that as Black culture. We push the other stuff we talked about.
mm.
So
Right.
who are those persons? Those persons are the persons who push that stuff. So the person who wear the what is Balenciaga, the person who wears that,
Mhm.
the person who's got the money. It's not even about how you got the money anymore. That's not important. What's important is that you got money. That's it. So the person who got money and nice clothes, those are the person, and they're black. Those are the persons who we look at with admiration.
Right.
And like Anne said, for their own reason, by their own power, and by the power of media and so on, they are pushed to the front.
True.
So that's what we see, and that's what we accept.
And that's what foreigners who've never interacted with black people,
Exactly.
that's what they see.
Exactly.
That's what they see.
They don't see how amazing John Canoe is. But I dare you to play John Canoe anywhere and continue to do something else. It's not going to happen. Has that ever occurred with you, Dyson? Anywhere in the world you've been?
Wait. Ask the question again, because my mind was on something just now. Has whatever
Whenever,
occurred to me?
whenever, have you ever started, or have you ever heard John Canoe roll over somewhere
And
and
people not get
some
excited?
and people not get excited, people not stop what they're doing and come and pay attention?
Never.
I've never seen that in my 40 something years. So I'm saying I wish that was the culture we were talking about today, but that's not. We're talking about not even Allen Iverson. We're talking about what the girl name Red what?
Hey,
Mm-mm.
oh,
Mm-mm.
oh,
Please.
oh.
But let's make that the conversation, Doc, because
It's the crayon
Talking
girl.
about that
That's what we
name.
call it.
that's a great example of what is our core
So what are we
versus
gonna make the topic?
I'm trying to get to the bottom of
Still talking about black
black
culture.
black love, and
Okay.
how do we make that more common, and for instance, with Junkanoo versus hip hop. You ask, have I ever seen people not respond to Junkanoo in a positive way? The answer is no. I've seen people respond in a negative way to Bahamian or black hip hop artists.
Yeah.
Um, you know, so what is it about having an entity like Junkanoo that makes it easy to celebrate, easy to accept that
Easy. Easy. Sorry, go ahead.
that that hip hop and anything else in the entertainment arena doesn't have? And my suggestion is that thing is
Lyrics.
I was gonna say authenticity.
Mm,
Hmm.
Yeah, I would say something like spirit. Now, mind you, hip hop itself is evolved a lot, and so is jungle. Um,
Is hip
hip
hop
hop is
today is hip hop today real life though? Are people singing about what is actually happening in the
no,
hood, which is where hip hop came from? It was
yeah,
a story about what life truly was in the hood. Is
right?
that still hip hop music?
No,
Is that still music? Period.
not
no,
No.
mainstream. No, not mainstream. No.
definitely not.
Right? And you have these 20 songs that is in circulation. You have whatever genre it is, right? Especially if it comes from blacks. Is that it? And I could say it's not a true representation of who black people really and truly are, right? Which is why people would say that and speaking proper is a white thing. There are tons of black people that are far. In fact, Africa created education.
So
The
so when you talk about
audacity.
black love, Dyson, is impossible for us. And this was the initial. We talked about this before. I think last February, and we talked about Black History Month. This is
Yes.
the this is the this was the original purpose of Black History Month, was to teach us to love ourselves. That was
Yeah.
the purpose,
Yeah.
right? Now it turned into, I don't even pay attention to Black History Month
I
anymore.
was
I
gonna
don't
say
pay
I don't
attention.
think it should be a Black History Month.
There
Bingo.
shouldn't be. There shouldn't be. But
I
but
don't
the
think
point,
it should because I feel like history is history. I don't know nobody else's race that's
true,
packed
true.
into one
But
month.
there was a lack of, you see, you gotta understand, but understand no, ants. There wasn't no internet back then. There was no cell phone. There wasn't no, you know what I mean? You had to go to the library to get information, pretty much.
Hmm.
So we've moved on from that. We didn't have black shows on TV like that. We didn't have all the access to all this information. You could Google who were the top 12 emperors and kings in Africa over which time period, and you got the information right there in seconds. You couldn't do that. You could, and you wouldn't hear that in school. So you had to go somewhere, and first of all, you had to know that there were kings in Africa. You had to know that, and then you had to go and look for it. You had to be insightful enough and ambitious enough to go and find that information. And Black History Month originally was to bring that information more mainstream. That was the initial goal, to teach us to love ourselves. And the bottom line, because
But I,
we can't love each other, even as men and women in the Black community, if we don't love ourselves. It's challenging to do that. How are you going to behave as a self-respecting Black man or woman if you don't love what your race is all about, what your people are all about, and where they've come from, what they stand for? And all you know is red. What's her name? You
Red
don't
crayon,
know.
brother.
No, I use that example because I listened to a song and it pissed me off, bro.
I've
really did.
never heard
It
one.
really did.
Never heard one song.
I have never heard one.
It was on the
Never.
radio. I'm like, dude, either I'm getting very old,
Mm-mm. It's her.
I must be getting old. Because,
I
dude,
don't
I
even
was
know what
like,
you're talking
what?
about.
Don't.
You know, they know it. They know what you're talking about. And I'm listening, and I'm like,
But here
Question.
here's why I don't
Go
like.
ahead, Ans.
This is why I don't like Black History Month. Um, Now, as a child in the Bahamas, I don't even remember much of what Black History Month was there. But I know that when Black History Month happens in America, most of it talks about who stopped segregation and who sat on the bus and when there were slaves and slavery ended. That's not Black history, in my opinion. I feel like that's American history. That's what Americans did. So that's why I don't really, okay, it's Black History Month. I mean, I don't feel like it's a big deal because I feel like the start of it is almost, let me remind you that y'all were slaves.
right.
And yeah, y'all may have done stuff after, but let me remind you, okay? That's also why I don't feel like it should be taught to little kids in school. I was happy when they took that out of the schools in Florida.
Oh man.
Because, but here's my reason why. I remembered my son, he was maybe in first grade and he had a best friend who was white. He came home and he's like, "Well, mommy, how come I couldn't go to Tommy's house because I'm black?" And I'm like, what are you talking about? So went back to the school, had a talk with the teacher, trying to figure out what was going on. She said, "Oh, we were just doing Black History Month, and we were telling the kids that if this was how things were, because he was brown and he was white, they couldn't hang together." So now, in this moment, you just told my son that at one point he would have been beneath Tommy, and Tommy would have been above him. So that was never something that he had ever thought about. That was never in his mind. So now it's been placed.
Yeah.
Right.
And it's under the umbrella of, oh, it's just knowing your history.
Do we? Which bring
Um,
my question. That brings about my question. Like, do we need to request? Do we need to make a special request? And this might be Black History Month. Do we have to single out blackness and teach people to love it? Do
I
we
don't
have to
care if
teach
people love it.
ourselves to love it?
I love it. I think that's what's important is
Yeah,
loving it
but
yourself.
is it has I'm asking something that I already know the answer to. Maybe I'll just say what the answer is,
Say
or
it.
the way that I see it.
Mm-hmm.
The world has been taught to fear blackness.
Mm-hmm.
The world has been taught to disrespect blackness. The world has been taught to straight up hate blackness. So how do we undo what has been done? Is the reason for the reason why you can sell BS like Black Lives Matter and you can sell BS like Black History Month, because I agree with y'all, um, is is because we already feel it's already been taught and embedded in black culture and in blackness that you are not as good, that you are second or even third, in fact last, right? So what do we do in order to reinstate a love that I am very sure our ancestors had for what is black, right? How do we reinstate that if we're saying that it certain things need not be taught in the schools, and there is no need for Black History Month, and what do we do, me and you, because we only us as individuals can make any type of real difference, right? We could slap up as much as we want and talk about how Black Lives Matter, and we could probably make some money off of a T-shirt if we design it ourselves too, right? But how do we actually level the playing field when it comes to respect for all humanity,
For all?
as
all
black people,
as people? It's a heavy question.
It
It's
So
is
a
a
maybe
heavy
lot
we
question,
because
guys.
so
how
maybe
do you convince
It's-
somebody else to change their complete mindset? I mean, aside from them simply being around you and interacting with you to be like, okay, this isn't what I thought. But you can't go door to door trying to convince people that they should love it.
So how should blackness be loved? Because I asked that question in the beginning of the show, and I think that
What do you
that's a
mean?
good.
What do you mean?
it's it's hard. Let me. Okay, Ken, Saturday when I was in Best Buy when I almost bought, you know what? Anyway, as I was leaving, right, I'm in my vehicle about to pull out, and you had six people, young in their teens, just run out of Best Buy with a bunch of stuff right in front of me. Guess the color of every last one of them? Black.
I
The
was
reason
gonna
why
say
I'm
the
saying this,
opposite of
right?
black.
As far as we try to get, there's always something that put us 10 steps back.
But here's the
Always. I just don't get it. I don't get it. And You will see a video like that online, right? And within us three here, we'll be like, look at this shit. This is crazy. That's wrong. But you actually will have people will glorify that and find an excuse why they doing what they doing.
But
And be
here's
like, well, well, they ain't had this and they ain't had that and blah, 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 blah. The point I'm trying to make here is hard to for anybody to accept us, who we are, love, whatever, when we don't love each other. We just don't. We just don't. And that may sound crazy, right? It's the same way how IHOP is set up shop in Nassau and the line is down the road. When you had local businesses there for years, killing their food and the store empty. It's like
so
that mindset right there, bro. That mindset has to change. First and foremost, your mindset has to change. You cannot possess a slave mentality. The slave mentality will always keep you back. And it will also make you shoot your next man down when he's trying to get up. That's the slave mentality as a whole.
So you're saying that blackness, a way to love blackness is to support black
No, what I'm saying is that
businesses, black.
what I'm saying is support one another. You have to support one another. We are one of the only few races that I know in my 40 something years on earth that don't support each other. We are quick to jump on the bandwagon of someone else's culture.
hold on, please, JP, because there are
Go
two
ahead.
things you said, like I just want to respond on,
Go ahead.
right? So before we go to the supporting black people, I just want to go
Mhm.
back to your analogy of the group of guys that
Yeah.
shoplifted.
Hmm.
I feel like it's only in black culture where when black people do something wrong or someone of the black community does something bad, oh my God, all black people are like that. When we have white people who shoot up schools, kill a bunch of random kids, but it's not, oh my goodness, now we're afraid
Right.
of all white people. All white people
Right.
must be like that.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
So that's still a weird mentality. I mean,
Hmm.
people are people. Bad people are bad people. Good people are good people. I don't think it has anything to do with the race. But there's this mindset that in order for people to see black people as good, we must all not make mistakes and we must be perfect. That's not reality. And then on the part of black people supporting black people, let me okay, example. I had a white company that
Hmm.
was doing our lawn. She charged $20 a month, $20 for every single time to do the entire lawn, to trim the whole nine. Okay.
Nice
I
deal.
saw right. I saw this black company doing someone else's lawn. So I'm like, oh, I want to support black businesses. Let me check them out. So I
Hmm.
stopped them to ask how much they, if what would their charge be, blah blah blah. He said he would charge me $55. So I said, well, I have this other lady that does it, and it's $20. He said the lowest I could go is 45. Okay, well, thank you. So it's not even about supporting black. I want the deal.
Yeah.
It just so
Value for
happened
dollar.
that the cheaper one is a white person. I mean, and I've also found that some black businesses, and this isn't only black, if I feel like I do not have good customer services or good interaction at the business, I'm not spending my money there. I don't care
Correct.
if it's black or if it's white. So it
Correct.
cannot be simply because they're black, even if they're rude, if they put somebody in front of me because, oh, well, that's another, a return client. I'm not coming back.
But check this out, though, right? To double up on that point, let's just say hypothetically you go into a store and you're not satisfied with customer service and restaurant or whatever it may be. Now, this I don't care what nobody say. JP speaks the facts. I don't care what anybody's feeling.
Hmm.
9 times out of 10, you complain too much in a black establishment, you about to get into some shit. They ain't gonna go above and beyond for
No,
for customer
no.
service.
I said I experienced that right in Nassau
You
with the
understand me?
stew fish.
Not in
Man,
Nassau.
What do you say?
not
What do you
my
say?
That might not so.
I won't even
So it's like
say
you
the
gotta look at it
name.
from
I
that point of
cannot
view too.
believe.
You gotta look at it from that point of view too, man. Like you gotta be
But
very
here's the thing.
careful
Yo, here's the
how
thing.
you
Here's the thing.
speak and how you say certain things because it can go left very, very quick.
But nobody's gonna. I think both of you guys, nobody would, no reasonable. Let me correct myself. No reasonable person would have any problem with what you guys just said. That's
Like,
completely reasonable to
yeah.
say go with this person versus that person.
Hmm.
But I think to answer the question that Dyson asks, what we need to get to is the flip side of that, which is the same black thingham. When he starts having it hard, he's gonna blame it on the fact that he's a black company.
Yep.
Mm,
You understand what
that's
I'm
a
saying?
fact.
The
That is
person
a
with
Facts.
the
fact.
person, the person with the customer service, same thing. Business going down. They ain't gonna say, "Oh, it's because my business don't give good customer service." They can say it's because I'm a
I'm
I'm
black.
a black, and then da, 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 and we can come up with all that. So the first thing we need to do is we had to be ready to identify the problem. We need to recognize and accept that this is a problem.
Mhm.
Be real with ourselves and say, "Look, this is a problem. I don't care if it's fun. I don't care if it's cool. I don't care. I don't even care if it makes money. This is not good for us as a people, and it needs to stop." When
Yep.
Bill Cosby started saying that, they crucify him. This is in the late '90s. They
Yep.
crucify him for saying that. He said, "Pull up your pants, speak properly, yada yada yada," and everybody got mad at him because he said that.
Yep. Yep.
But he's right, and we need to say it. We need to say, you know what? We need to do better. When we see people hanging on blocks, we need to advise them otherwise. And XYZ, we need to be a village again.
Right.
That's the first step
I think
towards what
that
Dyson.
is the first step to be a
Yeah,
village
so
again. That
we
right
have
there
to
is
because
very
all we're gonna do is blame everybody else. You can blame the white man, you can blame slavery, you can blame, you know, the flying spaghetti monster.
Ah,
Everybody else,
don't mention
every,
that monster, bro. I scared of that one.
Hey,
everybody,
so
everybody else except us.
Flying
so we
spaghetti
so
monster.
we've
Yeah.
identified that one way to get black love and expect black love is for us to be competitive. We have to be able to compete, just like how that black business needed to understand that, hey, the most you need to be able to do it for is $20, right? Because even if you're just doing it for aunts, you need to go and collect that 20 because she's actually reaching out to you in order to give you business.
You know what's so
Now,
crazy?
it's like
If he had
may,
Walmart.
think
may,
So
if
Walmart
he had
will
Dyson,
think
give
and
you
just
Dyson,
the
drop
best
it to
price.
25, he probably go out of business.
Right.
so
That's
Dyson,
true.
hold
That's
on.
a
That's not
fact.
even that's a short term. That's a short term.
Wow.
That's a short term problem. That's a short term problem. But again,
can I?
and this is where we differentiate in how we do things and how people of other races do tend to do things sometimes. And it would be wise for us to again be humble and learn when we don't know, instead of thinking we always know. Right?
Yep.
Woo.
So he needs to say to himself, hold on, why can't I why can this person offer $20 and I can only offer 55? What is
I
wrong
was
with my
about to get
business?
to that.
What am I doing wrong here? What we
I
need
know
to
the
do is
answer.
when people, and I'm guilty of this too sometimes, giving people too much chances, when people don't come to work on time, when they rude to your clients, and when they're doing all this other nonsense, we need to send them home.
Hmm.
You need to send them home. We need to be more. We need to have higher standards and stick to
Yes.
those standards, and don't divert from those standards just because of what is the next new thing or because it's too hard.
Yeah.
So I heard a conversation where somebody said that coming to work on time is white culture.
Ah.
Just the most absurd thing I've ever heard.
And being
That that
late
that, that
is
is
literally
that is
black people.
it's oppressive. It's oppressive to black people to ask them to work on time. How is this, so? And it's people who actually think that, and they actually real with that. It's because I'm black. That's why you fire me. No, it's because you was late 10 times. That's why. You
I
see
like
what
to
I'm
be
saying?
early.
So so
You know how long I applied for the Human Resources Department against visit. Long time.
so
Him
so
hired me,
until
guys.
we get until we get to
I
until we get to
can
that point,
we have these things. Hold
until no, I see. I can't have human see standards. I can't have a human resource manager
on.
cussing people out, and stuff like that. I can't have that standards.
You would turn over so much flipping stuff.
Boy,
You
look
get
here.
first warning.
You can stop listening today.
You see,
That's a
J-
promise.
JP, JP ain't right. He ain't giving no written warning. He ain't giving no verbal warning. So
No,
that's not going to standards.
Standards. So be competitive. Be competitive. Have standards, high standards, and okay. So in being
Advocate.
devil's advocate here,
Mhm.
when it comes to these type situations, the upper hand is very visible. I'm not going to speak in ignorance on this show because we know for a fact that the starting point for a lot of businesses when it comes to different ethnicities is different
Right.
because that black person may
True,
have had to
true.
take out a loan to buy all of his equipment, whereas the other person may have had every piece of equipment handed to them, or have a better have to pay lower. If they did take out a loan, the interest is lower,
Mm-hmm.
much lower, and the payments are lower. There is that. That's a fact,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Mm-hmm.
So to offer the same service at the same cost is difficult for black businesses, right? Because our starting point is different. But beyond that, I believe the expectation to still get ahead or get that job without being competitive is just bad business. You
correct.
understand what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
You have to find a way, and then it goes back to what Dr. Kent and Juan says about making excuses.
Mm-hmm.
There are no excuses. You have to anticipate operating at a loss or operating at a disadvantage because we all know as black people we got to be twice as good, 10 times as good in order to get halfway there. You see what I'm saying? And that's just the
Mhm.
reality. So we talk about black love, and black people do need to understand this. And if we understand this ourselves, then we would be able to say, hey, yeah, that person is giving you that. Then I will give it to you for $25. Can you do 27?
Yeah, that's all you had to do. That's all you had to do.
You see what
And
I'm
that
saying?
listen, that's so strong what you said just now, Dyson. A couple of months ago, and you and Ken probably remember this. When me and my team did the floors for a whole hospital facility, when they contacted me off of Google and they told me to come in and take a look, um, you have to pay attention to what's going on around you at all times too. When they asked me to give a price, right? When the lady left her office, I distinctly saw two other quotes on her desk. You know what I did? I looked at the quotes, and all I did was come 3 grand under
That's your
exactly
girl.
what they was charging.
Mm-hmm. That was
You
smart.
understand? Now, some people will be like, my price, and that's that.
Mm-mm.
But when we dealing with 20 grand or more, does it really matter?
Can I
Nope.
point out, can I make a point on that same thing there?
Go ahead.
The person that was looking for that job to be done,
Hmm.
do you think they saw the color of anybody's skin when it came to how much the job is going to cost?
Nope.
Absolutely not.
They had a budget, and that
They
was
had
enough.
about, and not only that, the money came out of escrow, so it's not even a personal money. So it's money that they set aside for a particular task that needs to be
Mm-hmm.
done within the facility.
And
So you know, and guess what? Based off of that job, we did two more facilities the same size.
See there?
And on top of that, we did people houses that worked in the facility. The
hmm,
point I'm trying to make is that sometimes you got to take a loss, just a little bit, to make that gain in the
Yeah.
long run. And if that gentleman just dropped the price, let's say, you know what, she does it for 20, I could do it for 27. I just probably would have went with it just based off of trying to support
Literally.
person of color business. But then
Literally.
that could spread so much other ways that he probably wasn't even thinking of.
No.
so Dr. Ken Bazard, you were correct at the beginning of the show, and you said we only have an hour because I even wanted to touch on black love in terms of relationships because according to Google, we have the highest rate of divorce out of all of the races. Can anyone guess who has the
Really?
lowest? Let me get Yep, we have the highest rate of divorce. Can anyone guess who has the lowest rate of divorce?
I don't
Chinese
even want
people,
to see
I
A-
don't know. Asians.
Asians.
Asian,
Asians.
Japanese people. Yeah,
Definitely
whatever. Them.
Asians. Yeah.
Yeah.
Asians have the lowest rate of divorce. Um, but for us, especially, we do need to come to a certain, um, if just realization that there is, this is not something we want to be the best at.
Definitely don't.
Like we
But
could be, we could,
everything I think we mentioned earlier, I think is related to that, Tyson.
yeah,
Everything,
yeah,
because again,
hmm
all of that plays into it. All of that. Even the guy with the $50 landscaping thing. If he's if he is frustrated because he's losing business or he's struggling or this, I'm sure I would feel a way if that happened to me. And I know I can't change my price for whatever reason, but I know that there's somebody else who's almost half of what I'm offering. That's gonna sink your morale a little bit because you're gonna be like, man, like, I gotta do something. So he goes home now and he goes to his wife, and his wife is not being very wifey. So
Mm.
that turns into a problem. So see, Ans, you caused divorce right there because yeah, 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 you did. You contributed to
What?
the divorce because you should have gave this guy a chance. But no, but in all seriousness, all these things are related, and it does turn into how we relate to each other. I think we said this at the beginning. These things determine how we relate to each other as black men and women, right? Even before marriage, we're at a place right now where men ain't even like. I think marriage is going to become extremely rare.
Yep.
Mhm.
I think marriage is going to be rare in the next 10 years. It's going to be rare, which means less
I
divorce.
blame
But
I blame women.
it's going to be less divorce, but marriage is going to be rare. What does that mean? More children out of wedlock, more children in single parent homes. Um, so it's only going to get worse, especially if our standards continue dropping. We don't have any culture to teach our kids, and we as
Yeah.
men don't know why. Because of our heritage, we should raise up our queens and treat them as queens, and the queens don't know why they need to raise up their kings and how to treat their kings because we don't know our history. We don't love ourselves. So of course, black love is going to be very difficult in the next few years. It's going to be hard. It's not going to be like the movies. It's going to be very, very hard.
fair enough,
I
fair
saw a
enough.
video. I'll make this my closing point. Then I saw a
Yep.
video. I saw a
Hold on, let me get the
video.
closing point. Let me get the closing point music.
Okay.
Hold on. Hold on
Oh,
one second. You
we high
you
tech.
saw a video. Go ahead. Go ahead. You saw a
We
video.
high tech. So I saw a video.
Yeah, boy.
There are two
We
videos.
all the way
There are two
live.
videos. Real quick. There are two videos. One was in Africa. I don't know if you guys saw this. One was in Africa at a concert, and the guy calls up the dude's girl off the stage, and she left him and went on stage and did all this stuff with him, like kneel down in front of him and grab his butt and did all type of stuff right in front of her boyfriend. And that's happened before. We've seen that before. But what really sucked about this one is he was mostly around her friends and some other girls. There were mostly girls around him. They were all teasing him and laughing at him. They were
Hmm.
all teasing him and laughing at him. There was a video after the show. They just showed a video of him walking away from her after they argued or whatever. He was just walking away from her with his hands in his pocket, his head down, and he's just walking away. It looked like a movie. He's just walking away after I guess saying whatever he had to say to her, and he left her there with her friends, and that's where the video ended. Right. So
Hmm.
this is what black love is coming to, where women will taunt you for stuff like that instead of saying you need to treat that man better. Right. Respect. You need to respect your man instead of saying, "Oh, it's just a dance. It's no big deal,"
How
because we
about
have
she
no
should respect
standards.
herself?
Ourselves, because we have no standards. Because we have no standards. right? The second video, and I'm going to end this here. Second video is a group of females on the podcast, and what this lady is saying is, if you're making 50K a year, you shouldn't be dating. She's saying that you should be making 80K and over before you even try to engage a woman about dating her. So again, with that type of mindset now, and whether you hear men speak or not, most of us like to internalize things. We hear it,
Yeah, we hear it.
we hear it, we feel it, and we note it. We note it well. We may not respond, we may not say anything, we might even act like we don't hear, but we heard it. So what's going to happen is the man going to say, "Oh, okay, no problem. You don't want me to date you? You don't want me to take you seriously? No problem. I won't take you seriously. I won't.
Hmm.
Easy." So what you're
That's
gonna get is
cool.
a bunch of lousy dudes. And again, the black love experience is gonna get lousy. It's gonna get lousier.
Wow.
That's what's gonna happen.
Well, that's
So
what's
standard.
happening. That's what's happening. Anyone else got a last word on black love and how do we achieve it? How do we grow it? How do we form it?
Respect, bro. Respect goes a long way. And that goes in business. That goes from peer to peer, person to person, husband to wife, wife to husband, friends, whatever. Respect all the way around. I told my wife the other day, I'd rather be respected than loved.
The Bible speaks on
And,
that.
and I'm 100% true
You
with
say
what I
that a
said.
lot.
I'd rather be respected than loved because eventually that respect turns to love. You understand?
Hmm.
I don't want to be just loved and then respect out the window and loyalty out the window, and no, I'd rather be respected, man. So if we want to change the outlook on just love in general, you understand? 'Cause, yeah, there's black love, but there's love in general, and there's only so much love can do. Okay. Don't get sucked into the word love. Like when you hear the word love, you're thinking the old Disney fantasy and all this other silly bullshit. Don't get sucked in that. All right? Because love don't conquer all, regardless of what you might think. There's a lot more to it than just love.
For sure. For sure.
Believe that when I tell you that. And that goes
Yep.
in relationship, that goes in for business. There's blood, sweat, and tears that come into business before you even get up off the ground. And you still might fail. So it don't matter how much you love it. You better dedicate a lot more shit to that than just love. So in hindsight, black people all together, you have to give each other much more than love. Love is only a portion of it, and a very small portion of it. First and foremost, you got to respect each other as just individuals
Hmm.
before you go any other way. You understand? Once we get past that, then we can go into other aspects of what comes together to make anything complete. But nothing's never going to be complete unless you see each other on the same playing field, the same level, respect. You
Yep.
want to ruin anything in life, disrespect it. And that goes for anything. And people don't forget. Like Ken said, people don't forget, especially men. We may not complain, we may not say nothing, but note it. Mental note. And to some degree, females don't forget either.
Women do it too. I was just about to say that. Hmm.
You understand? Mental note. And then what happens is that when you try to come with the love, now here comes that remember, blah, 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 blah. Now it makes it that much harder to do the love
Yeah.
because you never respect each other from get go. Big JP for the win, dog. Come on.
Bravo. Give him a
Come on.
thumbs up. Give
Come
him a
on.
thumbs up there, Hans.
Come on.
Let's see if
Thank
it
you.
can work.
We don't
No,
No,
know.
ain't
Not
nothing
no.
today.
happening this time. Okay, okay. Sorry about that.
Aww. When we
But
needed
any,
it to.
I know, right? Any last words, Hans?
I just think self love. I think that when Black people truly love themselves, they carry themselves different, they feed themselves different, they treat their bodies different, they just do everything different. So I do think it starts with just completely loving yourself.
Mhm.
Yeah. So I'm gonna watch the Bob Marley movie on Tuesday. Simply because I believe, that's a one of the black giants that we really should support.
Yes.
And he was about a whole lot of things, but I'm just specifically speaking to his music. And I also want to say that, when I sit down and watch television these days, there is no more my wife and kids. I mean, there's the Blackish, which comes close. There is no more Cosby Show. Correct me if I'm wrong.
No.
In Living Color is gone, right? Sisterhood, I believe, is the one with the black women that had
With the
that
twins,
was that what the show called? Yeah, I believe.
with the twins.
Sister, sister?
Yes, sister,
Say
sister,
sister.
sister.
Say
Yeah, sister,
sister.
sister. That's it. Because
They don't have none of them.
it's been so
Moesha,
long,
like,
It's been so long since we've had these type things, and Tyler Perry is bringing out these movies now. And I watched one of them the other day, and
Remember, Tyler Perry plays a better woman than a man.
hmm.
Don't forget that. Cat Williams. So I didn't say that. That's Cat Williams.
And don't even start on reality TV shows where we're
Yeah.
depicted just horribly.
Yep. Horrible.
Just horribly.
I'll say this: do not believe the hype. What is being marketed is marketed because it's one
So
of the things people market hard overly is because it ain't worth shit. It ain't worth jack. That's why you have to really go home and promote it. If I release a
he
song
meant to say
and
the
the
word
song is a
shit,
good
y'all. I'll
song,
do it. It ain't
thank,
word shit.
thank you. Thank you. Or at least take it with a grain and salt, right? Because promotion can make you think anything. All right? If it's not good, you would believe that it's good. But anyway, I run it on. Ladies and gentlemen, this is episode 74. Black Love, the Sup'm Show. It's about that time for us to go, but we do want you to know that we are here every Sunday at 6:30 Eastern Central Time. And yeah, next week we'll be in March.
This guy.
Hold on, let me give him a shine.
Yes,
Actually,
please.
let me All right, so cool, man. Hey, thanks again, Empire Fitness in the in the building.
Oh, they only tune in each week to see yours truly anyway. So you know what I'm saying? It's just what it is. Something to show y'all. Tune in next week. Big JP, Dr. Kent Bazaar, Ants, Dyson Knight, and we out here. That's just how we do it. We gone. Don't
We
miss
out
it. We
here.
gone. We out here.
So
Peace.
And
next
some
week I want to
some
talk
people,
about
please.
confidence versus self-esteem.
Oh
So
boy.
let's
Confidence.
confidence, having
Don't
confidence.
make me show up in the birthday suit for that show.
You mean confidence versus arrogance
No, confidence versus
versus
self-esteem.
self-esteem?
Yes,
Okay. All
there's a
right.
dynamic
Somebody
that
need to
our
claim
friend
their ass. Somebody need to claim
Sabria
their
pointed
ass.
out to us.
Someone need to claim their ass.
Yeah, Sabria pointed out this point to me, and I think love is work. And I
Mm-hmm.
think
What's the Bria say?
she said that if we want to start next week's show now, there's a difference between confidence and self-esteem. Self-esteem, confidence is saying that you can get any man you want. That's confidence, right?
Yeah.
Self-esteem will stop you from being a hoe.
Oh,
Oh, we talking about from the female's perspective.
Any perspective, even
Yeah,
from
but keep it on them. Keep it on them. Keep it on them. Because a big JP is nothing but arrogance. Keep it on them. You know what I'm saying? Keep it
definitely.
on them.
Most definitely arrogance.
Keep it on them.
We're about to get a cease and desist letter. Y'all talking
I
about
know,
Tyler
right?
Perry. And all.
I mean, they doing what they doing, but it's all good. But doctor, I also want us to have another conversation about. I running on the show over. Bye. We'll talk about this off air. Oh,
Tyson is
y'all,
just the Taurus king.
stay. Don't hang up. Don't my cast. Y'all stay online. Don't hang up. Let me just end
The
end the stream
the
live. Peace out,
Taurus
y'all.
king Dyson. He got a 5-page letter definition for everything, y'all. Just like do it.